Willkommen zu einer neuen Folge Vampyr. In der letzten Folge sind wir dem Escalon Club beigetreten.
Just suggested I was sired by an ancient vampire.
Women die too in this war.
Ja, und jetzt ist die Frage, was machen wir? Wir müssten eigentlich mit den ganzen Leuten reden. Und suchen, um rauszufinden. Ach, guck mal, hier, mit dem haben wir noch gar nicht gesprochen. Reden wir mal mit dem.
Good evening, sir. Please forgive me for disturbing you. I'm a doctor.
I never judge a man by his title, but by his attitude. And you are not disturbing me at all. I am Calhoun Russell, and I welcome you.
Well, I must admit it's good to receive a warm welcome for once. I'm Jonathan Reed.
Welcome, Dr. Reed. Welcome to my humble shop.
Do you have any family nearby?
Not since my parents died. I'm London's lone gourmet.
London's lone gourmet. What a strange title.
I used that name in my early years when I was a food critic, and I kept it.
Really? But you seem to be such a pleasant and sociable fellow.
I'm afraid the real hedonist has to be sometimes. I discovered ecstasy as a solitary pleasure, but it does not mean it can't ever be shared.
What can you tell me about this place?
I recently found the best steak and kidney pie in the city. I'd be glad to share the address if you want.
Finding a good restaurant? Is that really all that interests you?
Oh, I have many passions, but nothing brings me ecstasy like subtle and exquisite flavors from my teeth to my belly.
I must confess, I have quite specific tastes when it comes to nutrition.
Really? Well, I'm always happy to try new exotic meals. If you ever find an intriguing table, please share the address.
How is the situation in this part of town?
Life is good and peaceful. We're lucky to live in such an era of progress and wonders.
Are you not concerned about the epidemic?
Oh, I'm sure the authorities would take the appropriate measure if the danger were that high.
You cannot expect the newspapers to expose the truth while the war is still raging. I can assure you that the situation here is desperate.
Well, that's news then. But I can't believe that things are that bad. Are you sure you're not exaggerating a bit? For the thrill of it?
Man kann doch nicht so verblendet sein. Meine Güte.
To be trading?
On the contrary, it is the perfect hour. Believe me, my friend, it is always at night that you meet the most fascinating characters.
So you prefer to work at night?
Oh, I also enjoy a sunny day like everybody else. But the night always has a certain je ne sais quoi of its own.
But what about the epidemic? The bombs and raids? And all the random violence?
Please, sir, this is London, England. We will prevail. And if a bomb must fall on my shop, then I'll be there to hear it falling.
Ja, sehr optimistisch, dieser Typ. Ach gut. Ist er gesund? Ja. Mal gucken, was der hat. Man muss auch irgendwie auch an diese verkackten Rezepte rankommen, ne? Bleistangen? Bleiplatten? Ich habe überhaupt gar keine Ahnung, was ich brauche. Kann man das irgendwie nachgucken? Vielleicht irgendwie automatisch so ein Details. So, hier, genau. Ich könnte sogar upgraden. Genial. Teile eines guten Griffes. Okay, dann kaufe ich da vielleicht noch mal ein paar davon.
It's locked.
Mindestens 6 Stück bräuchte ich davon.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. A great night, what?
Ja, ich möchte
I may
handeln mit
have a look
dir.
at your goods, Mr. Russell.
Teil eines guten Griffes oder kleiner Teil eines guten Griffes? Ah, okay, das ist für die Nebenhand. Der hat nur 2 davon. Beschiss.
It's locked, all right.
Oh, ich will mit dem reden.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. A great night, what?
I'm investigating the source of the epidemic in this district. Have you noticed anything unusual?
Not really. Wait, now that you mention it, I don't see the McPhersons in my favorite restaurants. They love delicate meals too, you understand?
Thank you. It may be nothing, but I'll investigate anyway. Where do they live?
They have a house in the southern part of the district, somewhere north of the railway bridge. There is a courtyard, if I remember rightly.
Goodbye, Mr. Russell. I'm sure you'll take care of yourself.
Okay, ich würde mal vorstellen, wir versuchen erstmal dahin zu kommen. Um diesen Unterschlupf zu ergaunern. Oder zu erbeuten. Ja, war ja klar, dass er hier wieder laden muss. Das war so klar. Genau an der Stelle. Ja, das tut weh, ne? Hoffentlich war es der letzte. Zack, einmal hier rumgucken. Ich glaube, wir müssen auf die Karte gucken. Okay, den kleinen Gang hier durchgehen da. Also, wie viele kommen hier noch? Dann müssen wir so ein bisschen machen. Na komm her. Die mit ihrem Zwiebelgas. Okay. Wissen wir Bescheid beim nächsten Mal. Einmal heilen. Ist das da die Mutter? Das ist die Mutter. Ja. Wir sind wieder daheim. Ich glaube, wir sollten erstmal unsere Waffe aufrüsten. Der hier. Das ist wichtig. Mal gucken, könnten wir die auch schon aufrüsten? Nein, natürlich nicht. So. und die Nebenwaffe, die wir haben. Na, hoch da. Ach, da fehlen uns die Grünen für. Da fehlt uns nur das Grün und dann können wir gleich auf Stufe 4 gehen. Ich glaube es nicht. Obwohl wir könnten, ja, theoretisch haben wir nicht irgendwas noch zum Entplündern oder wie das heißt. Aber nicht das gekriegt, was wir dafür brauchen. Das ist zum Aufwerten. Kleiner Schlüssel. Kleiner Schlüssel wofür? Wofür haben wir den kleinen Schlüssel gekriegt? Kleiner Schlüssel. Aubrey Reeds Büro. Wer ist denn Aubrey? Ich glaube die Mutter.
Mother, good evening.
Jonathan! Is it you? Where have you been, my prodigal son?
I'm right here, Mother. I'm finally home.
Yes, for this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and now found. But where is your sister? Where is Mary?
Mary? She is gone, Mother.
I know she's gone. The question is, when will she return as you have? I miss my grandson so much. It's been days since their last visit.
Hat die überhaupt welche Leute drumherum? Ja, die hat da noch ein... Ach, der Butler, das ist ja genau dieser Butler.
Are you working on a new painting?
Not recently. I have trouble focusing on my subject and my mind quickly drifts. It's the same thing when I try to write poetry.
I recently met a talented painter with an excellent technique. I wish you two could meet. I'm sure you'd like her.
I'd be glad to meet her. What is her name? Is she famous? Is she dead too?
She's not famous, and her name is of no importance. And yes, she is also dead.
The important thing is, I hope you two get along. If she ever fancies meeting your mother, I'd be glad to welcome her into my home.
Do you need anything, Mother? Can I help you?
I just want you to stay with me, Jonathan. Your room is ready. I asked Avery to make your bed.
I'll stay as long as I can, I promise. Do you need anything else?
Just one thing. Stop staring at me like that. As much as I love you, it breaks my heart to look at those empty, dead eyes.
Why do you say Mary is visiting you, Mother? You know that's impossible.
Why should it be? Are you not standing in front of me right now? Why should it be any different with your sister?
But I'm not dead, Mother. I'm really here, talking to you, trying not to cry.
Oh, it breaks my heart to have to tell you this. But of course you're dead, my darling boy. Just look at you, as pale as my Mary.
But Mary really is dead, Mother.
Yes. And are you not dead too? Isn't your father dead? And my grandson, and my son-in-law? You're all gone. But you all still visit me from time to time.
Ich glaube, sie weiß nicht mehr, wo sie ist. Ja, dann...
Mother, do you know what's been going on in this area?
Not really. I don't go out much due to the epidemic, and when I do, I tend to get lost.
What do you mean you get lost? I hope you don't go outside alone.
Of course not. When I go out, your father always comes with me, but he leaves me there sometimes, and I have trouble finding the way back.
Have you returned to Whitechapel Cemetery since Mary's funeral?
I never want to go back to that awful place. Wait. I think I went back once. And you were there too. And Mary? No, that can't be true.
It was just a bad dream, Mother.
A nightmare, yes. Mary was so angry. I walked back home alone. If that kind policeman had not called Avery from the station, I don't know what would have happened.
Okay.
Goodbye, Mother. Try to rest now.
Goodbye, son. Please come back soon.
Also da kommen wir nicht rein.
Mary? How are you tonight? How is your sweet boy?
Da kommen wir auch nicht rein. Irgendwas muss es doch hier geben, warum wir hier separaten Schlüssel für brauchen, um reinzukommen. Irgend so ein Secret. Warte mal, irgendwie können wir sie jetzt belauschen.
Your father and I have spoken about your fiancé, Mary. We believe he'll be an honorable husband for you. We'll set a date for the marriage then. That way, I'm sure one of my children will give me grandchildren. I understand your thirst for knowledge, Jonathan, and your father and I are proud of it. But you are not that young anymore, my son. When will I meet your soulmate? You can ascribe my romantic tendencies to my French origins if you want, Aubrey. But I'll never cease to believe in a match made in heaven, my beloved.
I really wish you could meet her, Mother. You would love her.
Ist das nicht ein bisschen traurig?
Locked. Hello again, Mother.
Jonathan, back already. Good, good. I was just about to go outside to find you. You shouldn't stay away for so long.
Okay, das ist nicht der Hinweis. Dort auch nicht. Okay, das ist der Hinweis, den wir da gekriegt haben.
Goodbye, Mother. Try to rest now.
Goodbye, son. Please come back soon.
Schnell nochmal einen Blick nach unten ins Erdgeschoss werfen. Da ist der Butler. Frag ich, wie kommen wir da hin?
Good evening, Avery.
Mr. Jonathan? I can't believe my own eyes. Oh, it's a miracle. We all thought you were... Oh, sir, your poor sister. What a tragedy.
I know, Avery. I know about my sister's murder.
Miss Reed expected you to return to assist with the funeral. right up until the last minute. Where have you been, Mr. Jonathan? We needed you here.
How is my mother?
Not well, I'm afraid, sir. Miss Reed is very fragile since the police brought her back home.
The police? What happened?
Miss Reed was found walking in the streets. She kept saying she had spoken with her son and daughter. She's resting now.
Has she received appropriate medical care?
I'm taking care of Miss Reed myself. Hospitals are so overwhelmed by the epidemic that they can only accept patients infected by influenza.
Perhaps we could arrange a short trip. Somewhere sunny, like France. She has always been very fond of France. I think leaving London could do her good.
I'm afraid Miss Reed is too frail for the moment. Recently, she started going out at night without remembering it. I have to watch her carefully.
Genau, tu das mal.
What is the situation in this part of town?
For a time, the West End seemed spared by the epidemic. But the situation is getting much worse.
Have you no relatives anywhere? I'll understand if you want to take a few days to see family.
Your father managed to guarantee my earnings as long as I take care of this house, sir. My sisters are dead, and I've never met my nephews. I'll stay, sir.
Oh Mann, ey.
I'm sorry I could not be here for Mary's funeral.
Your mother was strong, sir, but your support would have been appreciated. Apart from the priest and I, no one else attended your sister's funeral.
To be present at the funeral with you both was my dearest wish, Avery. But I'm sorry, I simply could not attend.
I would not dare to question your absence, Mr. Jonathan. All I can say is that we missed you a great deal during these difficult days.
Do you know my mother speaks to the dead members of this family?
Yes. I sometimes hear her speaking to you, Miss Mary, and her baby. Sometimes your father, too.
So she thinks I'm also dead. And what about you?
I believe she only sees her relatives as the dead she speaks to, Mr. Jonathan. It breaks my heart to see Miss Reed like that.
She may get better. It's only a hypothesis, but I know my mother is strong. Whatever illusions have clouded her mind, they will fade in time.
Yes. With time, Miss Reed will recover from this cursed year. I know that your return can only be beneficial to that process.
Tell me the truth, Avery. Do you feel forced to stay here? Would you leave this house without the arrangement made by my father?
No, sir. I have nowhere else to go. And I promised your father I'd take care of his family as long as I live.
This house is dead, Avery. There is a curse on this family. You really should consider leaving.
If only you could have been here sooner or more often. Maybe this house would not be that empty. But you're here now, sir. So my task is not over.
You have served this family extremely well, Avery. Your support during these terrible times is much appreciated.
Then I will stay. All I ask is that you take care of my own funeral if I die before the end of the epidemic. No mass grave, please, sir.
Do you really think I don't take enough care of my mother, Avery?
Yes, I do, Mr. Jonathan.
You clearly have something more to say. Speak your mind, Avery.
I know you work hard to help the sick, but what will you do once the epidemic is over?
My home is here, and I have nowhere else to go. But this house will need some improvements if I move here. Some radical changes.
That's good news. Whatever changes you have in mind, I'm sure we will find an arrangement that suits your mother also.
Wenn sie da noch lebt.
I'm currently investigating sources of the epidemic in this part of town. Do you know anything useful?
Not really, except all the Macpherson's servants resigned a few days ago. They feared becoming infected, they said.
The Macphersons? Where do they live?
I think it's a rich house near the railway bridge in the southern part of the district.
Goodbye, Avery. Please watch over my mother until I return.
Of course, Mr. Jonathan. But please return as soon as possible.
Natürlich kommen wir bald wieder. Deswegen machen wir hier erstmal eine kleine Brass. Wir haben ja unsere Familie wieder getroffen. Wenn es euch bisher gefallen hat, lasst einen Daumen hoch da oder ein Abo. Schreibt mal in die Kommentare, ob ihr es genauso traurig findet, wie ich, was aus der Mutter geworden ist. Und dann sehen wir uns in der nächsten Folge wieder. Bis dann.